Hey there. Lately, a lot of people have been turning to yoga for various things, right? The world is closed down. There isn't a lot for people to do, and yoga is all the rage. But at the same time, I've heard a lot of people talking about how yoga is just too hard, or they don't have the flexibility, or they don't have the strength or the time, or they have a lower back issue or some other kind of problem. And really, it's a lot of excuses that are coming out because I think a lot of people just don't understand that yoga is accessible to everyone. Literally anybody can do yoga with the right modification. So today's practice is dedicated to everybody who thinks he or she just can't do it. You can. We're going to do an easy, light flow today so you can feel your body, take the movements that work for you. If something doesn't work for you, let yourself be where you are. Okay, honor your body. Thank yourself for taking the time to even come to your mat and give it a try today. Okay, so we are going to begin in a comfortable seated position. If you experience a bit of lower back pain or if your knees are up really high, you can take something to put beneath your hips. I'm going to use a book here. So this happens to be about the size of a yoga block. If you have a yoga block, go for it. If not, you can fold a blanket or a towel or a couple pillows. And just feel the difference when you elevate the hips. Feel the release on the lower back. Okay, and as you make your way onto your seat wherever you are, go ahead and begin to bring your hands down to your knees. You can place them down if you want to feel more grounded, rooting into that earth, or you can open them to receive. Or if you have a mudra that you like to do, you might place your fingers in a mudra. And then just begin to inhale, lengthening your spine and allowing the crown of the head to reach towards the sky. And exhaling out that which doesn't serve you. Inhaling up, long spine, and exhaling out any toxicity in your life. Inhale up, deep breath in, and exhale it all down. Feel a breath as it reaches the back of your throat. Notice where your thoughts are. As you continue to inhale and exhale on your own time, just be with the breath. Begin to think about your intention. Why are you here? What brought you to the mat today? Continue 2 more inhales and exhales on your own time, remembering to keep the spine long. Your eyes may be closed by this point. And in your next inhale, inhale the arms all the way up toward the sky, palms facing one another, arms reaching long, fingertips piercing toward the ceiling or the sky above you. And then exhale your hands down to heart center. Take a moment of stillness here to ground yourself. And on your next inhale, bring your palms to third eye as you seal your intention for today's practice. Remembering to come back to that intention as you move through the flow. Thank yourself for being here, for taking the time out of your day, for having the courage to step onto the mat and allow yourself to experience yoga. Exhale your hands down to knees. If you're sitting on a block or some other hip elevator, go ahead and slide that over to the side for now. And then feel your sit bones glue down to the ground. Put your butt down to the ground, basically. Put your hands back onto your knees, and we're going to begin to make circles with our body. As you inhale forward, arch your back. And as you come back, round your back on the exhale, keeping those sit bones glued down. Your butt might want to come up. Make sure you're keeping yourself centered. And as you inhale, move forward. Exhaling back. This is the Sufi grind or Siri Om. And you might begin to make bigger circles if your body allows it, maybe coming all the way down. And rounding. Or you might just be making baby circles, like so. Totally fine. Wherever you are. And your circles can be as big or as small as you like. And the pace is up to you. Move with your breath. Remembering always to inhale forward and exhale back as you keep that butt glued to the ground. Take one more roll in this direction. And you find yourself sitting up straight, pause, and go in the opposite direction. Again, inhaling as you go forward, exhaling back. And you might find that this side's a little bit different from the other side. Maybe it's a little tighter, maybe it's a little more open, maybe it feels exactly the same. Maybe your hip wants to come up a little bit more, so remember to bring awareness to those sit bones, forcing them to stay down as you flow. And again, taking these circles on your own time, as big or small as you want them. Find one more full circle. And then find stillness as you come back to center. Spine long, crown of the head reaching up. And then we're going to inhale our arms all the way up again. Palms together. Push against the space in front of you. As you feel the length in your spine, grounding those sit bones down to the earth. Feel the pull in opposite directions. Hips down as the fingertips go up. Maybe you look up, maybe you close your eyes. If it's in your practice, you might separate the palms and find a slight back bend. And then exhale your hands down. I'm going to do that 2 more times. So your next inhale, the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands down. Inhale, all the way up. Hold for just a moment. And then exhale, the hands down. And we're going to begin to make a little movement in our shoulders. So inhale the shoulders up. Exhale down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more time. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Your next inhale, the arms all the way up once again. But this time we're going to exhale, lower the right hand down to the mat. As we begin to fold a bit toward that right hand, keeping your spine long, heart open. See how you can bend. Maybe you're here, maybe this is enough. Maybe you walk your fingertips down a bit more, remembering to keep the heart open, spine long. And if it's in your practice, you could potentially roll down to your forearm, taking that top hand and piercing the space in front of your fingertips. Remembering to keep your sit bones grounded. That left butt cheek might be coming up, push it down. And then inhale, both arms up. Same thing on the other side. Exhale, left hand comes down, right arm comes over as you twist a bit to the left. And maybe the side's more open or tighter. Again, for me it feels a little bit tighter today. Just be where you are. Maybe you found a little bit of a bounce if that feels better as well. And then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Now we're gonna meet on all fours in our tabletop. So what you wanna do here is have your hands under shoulders, fingers spread all the way out wide, making an L with your index finger and thumb, hips knee distance apart. And as we start, you can just find some movement in your hips, maybe swaying side to side, maybe you make some circles. Just do what feels good for you. And if you make circles, make sure to do both directions. You want to try to even your body out as much as possible, even though nobody's body is totally equal on both sides. You can play with your hands, maybe flip the palms for a stretch in the wrists. You can go back, feeling stretch right here. So if you're at a computer all day, you might have some tightness in your wrists and lower arms. Just do what feels good. Take another couple of moments here. And then we will all meet in neutral spine as we prepare for cat-cow. So on the next inhale, we are going to arch our back as we look up, inhaling. This is cow pose. So feel the arch. And then on your exhale, you want to round your back all the way up. Picture cat, Halloween cat with its back all the way up, belly button to spine. And then inhale, back to cow. Exhale, down to cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then just do a couple more of them on your own breath. And if it feels like it's too much for your spine, you can just hang out in tabletop as you wait. Or slide the hips from side to side as we did in the beginning. And then we're all going to meet in tabletop. Now we're going to sit the hips back, open the knees as wide as the mat. And if you're not using a mat, totally fine. Just widen your hips a bit, your knees a bit, so that your toes are touching and your knees are out. So this is your toes touching and your knees are wide. And then just reach the hands forward, forehead down to the ground. You can, if you feel like that's too easy or you want to engage more, spider walk those fingers a bit forward to feel a deeper stretch in the back. And if this is too much, you can also close the knees and put the hands back like so, if you feel too much pressure on your lower back. Find your child's pose and know that throughout this practice, you can always come back to child's pose. So if something doesn't feel good for your body, honor your body and just come into child's pose and relax. Take a few deep breaths here, remembering your intention. And then we're going to come back to tabletop. And from tabletop, we are going to lower our bodies down slowly. So keeping your hands where they are. Lower your chest, push your feet down, and then lower your right cheek down to the ground. You might want to cradle your head with your arms, your hands. And then on your next inhale, we're going to take a baby cobra. So you're just going to arch your back a bit, and your hands are going to be right beneath your shoulders. Not too much of a bend here, just warming up. You don't want to be putting the weight in your fingertips, so you can kind of float them up to make sure that you're not, pushing all of the stress in your hands. Just a tiny back bend. Now exhale, left cheek to mat. Maybe making a cradle with your hands. And on your next inhale, we're going to come back to a baby cobra. And again, you might float your hands up. Exhale down. And on this third inhale, you can come to baby cobra once again. Or if you're ready for it, and it's in your practice, you might push all the way back into full cobra. pushing your legs and your thighs down to the earth. If it starts to hurt your lower back, stop and definitely lower down. Take a few breaths here, wherever you are. An alternative back bend could be Sphinx pose. So if you think of the great Sphinx in Egypt, with those forearms flat down, this is a bit of an easier modified back bend if you have lower back issues. And then wherever you are, we're going to come back down to the mat. Hands beneath shoulders. I'm going to shimmy up here. We're going to tuck our toes and then push back with our hips, making a V shape with our body. This is downward facing dog. If this is too much for you, you can hang out on a tabletop for a moment. If you're in downward facing dog, you can pedal your feet out as you walk your dog, especially if this is the first down dog of the day, if you've just woken up or you've been sitting all day, or you might want to feel that sweet release and walk your feet or hips side to side. And just take a few more deep breaths here, finding your dog. Again, hip distance, feet, your feet are hip distance apart. Hands, swing or spread wide, pushing back. Your heels might be up, that's okay. If you have your heels flat, more power to you. I can't do it. But just feel the stretch in your down dog. And then begin to walk your feet toward the front of your mat to meet your hand. If you're in tabletop position, go ahead and find yourself in your first forward fold of the day. And now you might have your knees really bent. Actually, we should just everyone bend your knees. Bend all the way down and take your arms to opposite elbows and sway a little side to side. Shaking your head yes and no. Finding movement if that feels good for you. And then put your hands onto your shins. Inhale, flat back. So your hands can be on your shins, on the thigh, or even on the floor. We don't want them on our knees. We want to have a flat back, flat spine. And then exhale, everything comes down. Let's try that one more time. So we're gonna inhale, flat back. Exhale, come down. And you can still have that bend in your knees. Now on the next inhale, we're gonna inhale everything up. And bring your hands to heart center, down. So we're gonna lower our hands down to our sides. I'm gonna turn here. Mountain pose. Take this time to remember your intention. Breathe a few grounding breaths. And then step your feet hip distance apart. We're going to take our willow pose. So start to just kind of twist a bit, feeling some warmth in your spine. Maybe your toes kind of go with the movement. You can make this movement as big or as small. You can go faster if you want to. Notice how the body feels. How does your spine feel? They say that we're only as old as our spine is. How old's your spine today? Maybe you start to take opposite hand to opposite shoulder as you continue in your willow. And you can play around with where it is that your hands are spinning. A few more willowing spins here. And then return to mountain pose to reset here. You sure you have your hips fist distance apart, and if you're not sure what that means, you take two fists and literally stick them between those 2 feet. That's a pretty good guesstimate of where hip distance is. So whenever you're not sure, just do that to kind of reset. So now what we're gonna do, we are going to do a wide leg forward fold. So we're actually gonna toe heel our feet out a bit. Toe heel, or you can just pick up your leg and move it. If you do that, your mat might move. And just find wide-legged standing pose. Maybe shimmy your hips out a bit. Put your hands on the hips. And then start to lean forward with a flat back as you exhale down. Moving slowly. Okay, I'm gonna tie up my hair for this part. So allow your knees to bend as much as they need to. You can find some movement side to side. You can widen the stance a bit if that feels better. Maybe your hands are on the ground, maybe they're not. If you're a little bit more on the flexible side, you might bring your head down or your forearms down. Just take a moment here to feel where you are. A few more breaths in and out. Finding whatever movement serves you. And then bring your hands back to the hips. Maybe heel toe your feet in a bit if you've spread your feet a bit farther. And then on the inhale, we're going to come up with a flat back. Awesome. So we're going to do some baby warrior poses here. Not a full vinyasa flow, but we're going to take the right foot, spiral the toes so that your toes are facing the front of the mat. Your back heel now should be, the arch of your back heel should line up with the heel of your front foot. And you might need to play with the stance a bit, step your feet a bit farther apart or a bit closer. Square your hips, bend that front knee down, and then take your hands straight up, looking towards your front finger. This is your warrior 2. So you may want to find some movement, just to feel the opening in the hips and the front hip flexor. Balancing if that feels nice. And then find stillness for just a few moments here. Look over your front hand. Maybe flip the palms up to see how that feels. Can you bend a little bit more in that front leg while keeping the spine long, hips square? You can take your hands and sort of pop that back hip forward. The front hip forward, the back hip to the left. Oh my goodness. The back hip back. And then on the inhale, we're gonna tilt those front toes back toward the side of your mat and hands come up, flying warrior. Now we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So on your exhale, flip the left toes toward the back of your mat. You wanna take that back toe, foot 45 degrees, heel the front foot, matches up with the arch of the back, knee bend, square those hips, and then have your hands come all the way out to the sides. And then maybe finding some movement, maybe you even straighten and bend the knee. Again, you can play with your stance. If you need to heel toe in a little bit more for better balance, you can do that. If you feel like you're too close, you can heel toe your way back. And then find stillness. Again, you can flip that front hand now, looking over our left hand. It's the back of our mat, but it's the front of the pose. And then on your next inhale, spin the toes forward, hands come up. Exhale your hands down to heart center. Take a moment here in wide-legged stance, hands at heart center, to reset the breath. And from here, we're gonna heel toe our feet together, And we are going to go ahead and take a seat back to the mat. Just a few more poses here. So sit down, this is called staff pose, knees bent, butt down, and then slide your legs forward. And then go ahead and find yourself all the way down on your back. So we're gonna start with our right leg, bend your right knee, hug it into your chest. Hug it in as much as you can, that feels comfortable. And then maybe you start to make some circular movements. They can be little, they can be big. You could also make movements with the ankle. And if you're making circles with the hip or the ankle, make sure you switch directions. Just do what feels good, keeping your lower back glued down to the mat. And then point your foot up as far as you can. It might be here, that's okay. And take your hands behind the hamstring, not the knee, never the knee. And go ahead and pull that knee up. If it's in your practice, you might come up a little bit higher. You might grab onto the ankle, shin, foot, wherever you are. Just feel a few moments of stretch. And again, you might be here, and this might be deep enough. So just be with where you are today. And then we're going to take our left leg, bend it up, cross our right knee over the left. So this is figure four pose. It's a little bit of a hip stretch. So lift the left leg up, like so. And then you can grab on behind that left knee, not behind the left knee, behind the hamstring, below the left knee, not on the knee. And then you can pull in a bit to deepen the stretch, if that feels good for you. If not, you might be here. You might even be here if that's enough. If you feel a lot of stretch, you can definitely stay there and just play around. You can pull it in and out, or if you want a deeper stretch, maybe you straighten the left leg. Let's take a couple more seconds there. And then lower the left foot down. Bring the right leg back into the chest. Left leg straightens. We're gonna do a side supine twist. So take your body, maybe scoot it a bit to the right. We're gonna take the left knee down to the ground. But what's important here is you want to keep the right shoulder glued down. Don't do this. Don't come all the way up. Keep the right shoulder down, and maybe that means your knee only comes this far. It's more important that you keep the integrity of the pose. Your shoulder's flat, then you do something like that because you could get injured and you don't want that to happen. In my case, I have what's called cactus arms like this. If you have space, you can take your arms out into a T. I'm gonna cactus it. Or you could take your left hand over the right knee and then just look over the right shoulder. Breathing in and out. See if you can bring that left knee a little bit further without pushing too hard. And then inhale. Right knee comes back up. And we're gonna switch legs. So right leg long. Maybe shake the hips out a little bit to reset. And then bring your left knee in, hug it into your chest. And then once again, you can do leg circles or ankle rolls. Whichever movement feels nice, you can just be static. Remember to switch the direction of your circles. And then find stillness as you start to straighten that left leg up. Again, grabbing behind the hamstrings or behind the thigh, or up at the calf, ankle, foot. keeping the lower back glued down wherever you are, maintaining the integrity of the pose. Just feeling that deep stretch in your hamstrings. And just be where you are today. Many people are here, and that feels amazing. Just allow it. Thank yourself for being here. You've come a long way. And then we're gonna do our figure four. So bring your right foot to the mat, left leg crosses over, and then if you were on the ground the whole time for the other side, you might want to stay there. Maybe the side is a little bit more open. You can bring your leg up, cross your arms around the right leg. Feel the difference between the two sides. Be okay with it. Maybe raising your leg. And then we're gonna go ahead and do our supine twist to the other side. So right leg comes down. Scoot your hips a little to the left side this time and bring that left knee back into the chest. And then go ahead and twist to the right. Now I have room for the whole arm to come out so you can see. And twisting down as you keep the opposite shoulder glued down to the ground. See, if it wants to come up, that's not okay. I gotta keep that shoulder glued down. So you can even take your opposite arm to push it down. Make sure it's there, have somebody else do it for you to maintain the integrity and keep your back safe. And just breathing there for a few breaths. See if you can come a little bit farther with your right knee. Can it come a little bit more? And then lower your right foot down. Left foot steps up to meet, the right foot steps up to meet the left. Bring your knees all the way to the chest. Hugging them in, maybe rocking a little bit side to side. Feeling a nice massage in your back. You can play around and make circles. Feel a bit of a massage in the glutes or the lower back. And a fun close to your practice today. Thanking yourself again for sticking with it and being here. You did amazing. And then whenever you're ready, just lower the legs all the way down. You might want to put your feet together, legs open wide. That's one form of Savasana. Or keep them straight down. Flip the palms up. And just breathe. And you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. You can play some music or allow yourself to practice meditation and mindfulness. Feeling the belly rise as you inhale. And then exhaling everything out. Again, stay in this pose for as long as you'd like. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all for joining today. Namaste.